Dr. Sarah Chen stared at the quantum detection array's readout, her breath forming small clouds in the frigid Antarctic air. The numbers couldn't be right. She'd been studying quantum entanglement patterns for 15 years, but she'd never seen anything like this. "James, can you verify these readings?" She called out to her colleague, who was hunched over a separate terminal. The aging heating system of Research Station Delta hummed in the background, barely keeping the bitter cold at bay. "Already running a diagnostic," James Mackenzie replied, his Scottish accent thicker with concern. "But Sarah, if these readings are accurate..." He trailed off, his eyes wide behind his wire-rimmed glasses. The quantum detection array had picked up a signal unlike anything they'd ever encountered. Not radio waves, not light, not any conventional form of communication. This was different. A pattern of quantum-entangled particles that seemed to dance to an impossible rhythm, originating from somewhere deep beneath the Antarctic ice. Within hours, their small research station transformed into a hive of activity. What had started as a routine test of new quantum sensing equipment had turned into something that would change humanity forever. Teams of researchers bundled in thermal gear trudged through the snow, setting up additional sensors in a wide perimeter around the original detection point. Dr. Chen led the preliminary investigation, her heart racing despite the cold. The signal pattern was not random. It showed clear signs of intelligent design. More importantly, it was responding to their presence, shifting and adapting to their attempts to study it. "It's like it's been waiting for us," she muttered, reviewing the latest data streams, "waiting for us to become advanced enough to detect it." 3 days later, the first breakthrough came. The signal's source was located 2 kilometers beneath the ice, in a cavern that shouldn't have existed. Ground-penetrating radar revealed a structure, geometric, precise, and definitely not natural. The UN Security Council convened an emergency session. Within weeks, an international team of scientists and engineers descended upon the Antarctic station. The discovery was too important to be left to any single nation. Dr. Chen watched as massive drilling equipment was assembled on the ice. The world's best minds worked around the clock, trying to devise a way to reach the structure without disturbing whatever lay within. But on day 47 of the operation, everything changed. The signal suddenly intensified. Equipment across the station sparked and hummed. Computer screens flickered with strange symbols before going dark. And then, in every speaker and electronic device, within a kilometer radius, a voice spoke, not in any human language, but somehow perfectly understandable to everyone who heard it. "Verification complete. Indigenous species has achieved quantum detection capability. Initiating inheritance protocol." The ice beneath their feet trembled. Deep below, ancient machinery awakened from millennia of dormancy. In orbit, satellites detected a wave of energy emanating from the Antarctic continent, spreading across the globe like ripples in a pond. Dr. Chen and her colleagues watched in awe as holographic displays materialized in the air around them, showing star charts and technical diagrams they couldn't begin to comprehend. But it wasn't just a display of alien technology, it was a warning. The voice spoke again. "To the inheritors of this system, hear this message. You are not alone in this galaxy, and not all who dwell among the stars come in peace. We left this gift to those who would follow us, those who would prove themselves worthy by reaching this level of understanding. You have found it not a moment too soon." Military satellites around the world began tracking multiple objects decelerating from faster-than-light travel at the edge of the solar system. Earth's first contact with alien life wouldn't be through a signal from the stars or a peaceful landing. It would be through the arrival of a fleet that had already marked their world for conquest. As Dr. Chen processed this revelation, the holographic displays shifted to show detailed technical specifications. The voice continued, "We give you the tools to defend yourselves, but how you use them will determine your species' fate. You have 14 days before they reach Earth orbit. We suggest you use this time wisely." The researchers looked at each other, the weight of this responsibility settling on their shoulders. Humanity had just been handed the keys to technology beyond their comprehension, and they had 2 weeks to learn how to use it before facing an alien armada. Dr. Chen squared her shoulders, her scientific mind already racing with possibilities. "Well," she said, addressing her stunned colleagues, "I guess we better get to work." The next 14 days would determine whether humanity would survive its first step onto the galactic stage. And in the depths of Antarctica, ancient machines continued to hum, ready to share their secrets with their newly chosen inheritors. High Admiral Vextar of the Mariax Empire stood on the command deck of the inevitable dawn, his iridescent scales reflecting the light of Earth's sun. The planet hung in the view screen before him, a blue jewel that would soon join the Empire's vast collection of conquered worlds. Or so he had thought. "Explain to me," he said, his voice dangerously quiet, "how a primitive species that hasn't even colonized its own moon has managed to establish a planetary defense grid we can't penetrate." His science officer, Callan, nervously adjusted her sensory membranes. "The energy signature is impossible, Admiral. It matches nothing in our database except—" She hesitated. "Except what?" "Except fragmentary readings from ruins of the predecessor civilization. But those are myths, stories to frighten hatchlings about empires that grew too powerful." Vextar's facial scales flattened in annoyance. The Mariax Empire had conquered 37 star systems in the past decade alone. Their technology was unmatched, their strategies perfected through centuries of expansion. Yet here they were, their mighty fleet held at bay by a species that still burned fossil fuels. "Open a communication channel," he ordered. "Let's see how these humans explain themselves." On Earth, in the hastily assembled Global Defense Command Center beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Chen watched alongside military leaders from a dozen nations as the alien transmission came through. The holographic technology they'd recovered from Antarctica rendered the alien commander in perfect detail. "People of Earth," Vextar's translated voice filled the command center. "Your world has been chosen to join the glorious Mariax Empire. Your unexpected technological advancement is noted. Submit now, share the source of your defensive capabilities, and we will grant you favorable terms as a protectorate species." General Diana Martinez, the newly appointed head of Earth's Unified Defense Forces, stepped forward. "We appreciate your offer, Admiral," she replied, her voice steady. "But Earth is not interested in submission. We are, however, open to peaceful diplomatic relations between equals." The alien commander's laugh was like breaking glass. "Equals? You've had access to advanced technology for what days? Weeks? You can barely comprehend what you're using. The Empire has ruled the stars for centuries." "Yet here we are," Martins responded, "having this conversation as equals. Because you can't get past our shields." The alien's expression shifted to something unreadable. "You're playing with forces you don't understand, humans. Those defenses you've activated, they belong to something ancient, something that should have remained buried." Dr. Chen spoke up, unable to contain herself. "We understand more than you think, Admiral. The predecessors didn't leave their legacy to the strongest empire. They left it to those who could understand it, who could improve upon it." To demonstrate her point, she activated one of the new innovations her team had developed. The holographic display around the alien commander shimmered, then revealed the quantum-level scans they'd been taking of his ships. His eyes widened as he realized the humans weren't just using the predecessor technology. They were analyzing his fleet's capabilities in real time. "Impossible," he whispered. "You couldn't have mastered quantum imaging this quickly." "That's the thing about humans," Chen replied. "We don't just use technology. We understand it, improve it. The predecessor systems weren't just weapons or shields. They were tools for learning, for growing. Something your empire seems to have forgotten in its rush to conquer." Vextar's face contorted with rage. "You have one planetary rotation to surrender the predecessor technology. After that, we will show you why the Mariax Empire is feared across 3 spiral arms of this galaxy." The transmission cut off. In the silence that followed, General Martinez turned to Dr. Chen. How much more can we develop in 24 hours? Chen smiled, pulling up the latest research data. You'd be amazed what human scientists can do when properly motivated. We've barely scratched the surface of what the predecessors left us, but we're learning faster than they could have imagined. Around the world, research teams worked frantically, combining human ingenuity with the ancient knowledge they'd been given. The predecessor I watched, its quantum processors calculating and recalculating the probabilities of survival. With each passing hour, those probabilities shifted, not because of the ancient technology itself, but because of what humanity was doing with it. In orbit, Admiral Vextar prepared his fleet for battle, unaware that he was about to learn why the predecessors had chosen humanity as their inheritors. The next 24 hours would prove that sometimes the most dangerous species isn't the one with the most advanced technology. It's the one that can learn the fastest. In the depths of the Antarctic facility, now dubbed Legacy Site 1, Dr. Chen stood before a shimmering holographic interface unlike anything humans had created. The predecessor eye had finally chosen to reveal its true nature, and what it showed them left even the most seasoned scientists speechless. "I am the last of the wardens," the AI's voice resonated through the chamber. "My creators, whom you call the predecessors, didn't vanish. They evolved beyond physical form. But before their transcendence, they recognized a pattern in the galaxy's development. The holographic display showed countless civilizations rising and falling across the millennia. Some expanded through conquest, like the Myriacs, others through trade or diplomacy, but all eventually stagnated or destroyed themselves. All except humanity," the AI continued. "You are different. In mere days, you've done something unprecedented. You've improved upon our technology." Dr. Chen touched a floating diagram, expanding it to show their modifications to the quantum shield network. "We had to. Your systems were designed for a single planetary defense. We needed to protect our orbital satellites too." "Precisely." The AI's tone held something almost like pride. "Other species simply use what they find. Humans instinctively seek to understand, adapt, and improve. This is why you were chosen." In orbit, aboard the inevitable Dawn, Admiral Vextar received troubling reports. His sensor officers had detected energy signatures suggesting the humans weren't just activating more predecessor technology. They were modifying it in ways their scientists had deemed impossible. "They've expanded the quantum shield network," Kalin reported, her voice trembling. "It now protects their primitive space stations and satellites. The energy efficiency it's better than the original designs we found in other ruins." Vextar's claws dug into his command chair. How are they advancing so quickly?" Back on Earth, military bases worldwide had become improvised research centers. The predecessor eye shared its knowledge not through direct downloads or simple instructions, but through a teaching method that played to humanity's greatest strength: our ability to learn and innovate. At Legacy Site 1, Dr. Chen led a briefing for military leaders from around the world. "The AI isn't just a defense system," she explained. "It's a teacher designed to guide a species worthy of inheriting the predecessor's legacy. But it doesn't just give us answers. It helps us find our own solutions." General Martinez studied the latest defensive innovations. "And what solutions have we found?" "We've improved the shield harmonics by 40%, Chen replied, pulling up technical data. "But more importantly, we've discovered something the predecessors themselves never implemented, a way to turn their defensive technology into an offensive weapon." The holographic display showed a new system that combined human understanding of particle physics with predecessor quantum technology. It wasn't just a shield anymore. It was a way to actively disrupt any attack that came against Earth. The predecessors were so focused on defense that they never considered using their quantum manipulation technology offensively, Chen explained. "But humans, we think differently. We see possibilities they never imagined." The AI's voice joined the conversation. "This is why you were chosen. Not for your potential to use our technology, but for your potential to transcend it. The Mariax Empire copies and conquers. Humanity adapts and innovates. Around the world, preparations continued. The modified shield network now extended to the moon, protecting the lunar bases. Satellites were retrofitted with quantum sensors that could predict enemy ship movements before they happened. And in laboratories across the globe, scientists worked to combine human ingenuity with predecessor knowledge in ways that would soon shock the galaxy. 12 hours until their deadline, General Martinez noted, studying the tactical displays. Will we be ready? Dr. Chen looked at the streams of data flowing through the quantum network, showing humanity's rapid progress. We're already ready. The question is, are they ready for us? The AI's quantum processors hummed as it calculated new probabilities. The chances of human survival had risen beyond its original predictions. But more importantly, the patterns it was observing in human innovation suggested something even its creators hadn't foreseen. The possibility of a species that could not only survive, but thrive in ways the predecessors themselves had never imagined. In the space around Earth, the quantum shield network pulsed with new energy patterns, its capabilities growing as humanity continued to improve upon its ancient design. The Mariax fleet waited, unaware that they were about to face not just predecessor technology, but something far more formidable. Human creativity unleashed at its full potential. The deadline expired with the rising sun over the Pacific Ocean. Admiral Vextar's fleet moved into attack formation, their weapons charging with enough power to reduce cities to ash. But Earth was ready, and what happened next would be discussed in galactic circles for centuries to come. All stations, initiate Defense Protocol Theta. General Martinez commanded from the Global Defense Center. The quantum shield network hummed to life, but not as the Mariax expected. The first wave of Imperial destroyers opened fire, their plasma cannons unleashing devastating energy beams toward Earth's major cities. But instead of simply being absorbed or deflected by the shields, something unprecedented occurred. Energy capture successful, Dr. Chen reported, watching the quantum metrics. Redirecting now. The shield network didn't just stop the attacks. It absorbed them, channeled them, and repurposed their energy. The Mariax weapons fire seemed to vanish into rippling quantum fields, only to emerge from other points in the network, turned against their own ships. On the inevitable dawn, Admiral Vextar watched in horror as his first wave of attacks boomeranged back at his fleet. Impossible. The shields are weaponizing our own energy signatures. That's not all they're doing, Kellen reported, her sensor membranes quivering. The humans, they're using our weapon signatures to map our shield frequencies in real time. The truth dawned on him too late. Each attack they launched gave Earth's defenders more data, more patterns to analyze and counter. The humans weren't just fighting back. They were learning, adapting, improving their defenses with every passing moment. Dr. Chen's team had done more than modify the predecessor shields. They'd turned the entire defense network into a learning system, one that could analyze enemy tactics and develop counters faster than any organic commander could respond. Second wave incoming, Martinez announced. They're trying to overwhelm multiple points simultaneously. But humanity had anticipated this. Teams of scientists and military strategists had spent the past week gaming out every possible scenario, developing responses that combined human tactical thinking with the predecessor AI's quantum processing capabilities. The shield network split into layered fields, each operating on different quantum frequencies. As Mariax weapons fire struck one layer, the others analyzed and adapted. It was like fighting an opponent that not only blocked every punch, but learned your entire fighting style in the process. Remarkable, the predecessor AI commented, its quantum processors tracking the battle. You've turned a defensive system into both weapon and teacher. Admiral Vextar wasn't finished. He ordered his fleet to launch their most devastating weapons, quantum torpedoes designed to tear apart the fabric of space-time itself. But even these found no purchase against humanity's adapted defenses. Quantum torpedo signatures detected, Dr. Chen called out. Initiating Protocol Omega. The shields didn't just stop the torpedoes. They caught them in quantum bubbles, analyzed their structure, and then improved them. When the weapons were released back toward the Mariax fleet, they carried modifications that even their creators hadn't thought possible. By the first egg, Callan whispered aboard the Inevitable Dawn, "They've enhanced our own quantum weaponry. The torpedo's yield has increased by 300%. The battle turned into a desperate dance as the Mariax fleet tried to find any weakness in Earth's defenses. But with each passing minute, those defenses grew stronger, smarter, more innovative. Humanity's greatest strength, our ability to learn and adapt, had been amplified by predecessor technology to create something entirely new." "Admiral," Callan's voice shook as she delivered her report, "I'm detecting quantum field modifications we've never seen before. They're not just using the predecessor technology anymore. They're innovating beyond it." Vextar watched as his mighty fleet, the pride of the Mariax Empire, was systematically neutralized by a species that had barely reached their own moon. His ship's weapons were turned against them, their shields analyzed and bypassed, their tactics countered before they could even fully execute them. In the Global Defense Center, Dr. Chen and General Martinez shared a look of cautious optimism. Their preparations had paid off, but the battle wasn't over. The Mariax still had ships in reserve, and humanity's modifications to the predecessor technology were pushing into unknown territory. "Status report," Martinez called out. "The shield network is stable," Chen responded. "Energy capture and redirection systems are operating at 143% of predicted efficiency." And she paused, studying a new data stream. "We're seeing unexpected developments in the quantum field matrices. The AI says we're doing things even the predecessors never attempted." The battle for Earth had become more than a test of military might. It had become a demonstration of humanity's unique ability to take existing technology and push it beyond its intended limits. The Mariax had come expecting to find a primitive species playing with stolen technology. Instead, they found themselves facing an entirely new kind of opponent, one that could turn their own weapons against them while simultaneously improving upon technology that had been considered perfect for millennia. And in orbit above Earth, the quantum shields continued to evolve, shaped by human innovation and determination, protecting their world while showing the galaxy exactly why the predecessors had chosen humanity as their inheritors. Admiral Vextar stood before the emergency session of the Mariax High Council, his scales dulled with shame. The holographic displays showed Earth's defense systems, now evolved far beyond their predecessor origins. The council chamber buzzed with agitated whispers as the implications became clear. "They didn't just defeat us," Vextar reported, his voice heavy. "They fundamentally changed the rules of engagement. Every tactic we employed was not only countered but improved upon and turned against us. The humans." He paused, searching for words. "The humans aren't just users of predecessor technology. They're its inheritors in the truest sense." On Earth, the aftermath of victory brought its own challenges and revelations. Dr. Chen and her team worked tirelessly in the Antarctic facility, now understanding why the predecessor AI had chosen humanity. "The quantum field modifications you achieved in combat," the AI explained, displaying complex mathematical models, "took my creators centuries to even theorize. You accomplished them in hours of practical application." General Martinez studied the battle data alongside international military observers. The Mariax fleet's retreat had been total, not just from Earth, but from the entire solar system. "They'll be back," she noted. "Maybe not the Mariax, but others will come." "Let them come," Dr. Chen replied, but her tone wasn't aggressive. She gestured to the newly evolved defense systems. "Look at what we've created. The predecessor shields were just the beginning. We've turned them into something new, something that grows and adapts with us." The AI's quantum processors hummed with what could almost be called excitement. "This was the true test my creators designed. Not whether you could use their technology, but whether you could transcend it. The Mariax Empire copies. The Grenthek Collective preserves. The Xaran Dominion worships. But humanity innovates. Across Earth, the impact of the victory rippled through society. The quantum shield network had become more than a defense system. It was now a platform for unprecedented technological advancement. Scientists worldwide collaborated, pushing the boundaries of what was possible with the combined knowledge of human ingenuity and predecessor wisdom. In the Mariax Empire's capital, the High Council reached a historic decision. For the first time in their history, they would extend formal recognition to a species that had defeated them. But more than that, they would seek to learn from humanity. The humans protect their world not through mere strength, the High Counselor addressed the assembly, but through understanding and innovation. Perhaps the Empire has forgotten that conquest is not the only path to greatness. Back on Earth, in a secure conference room beneath the Rocky Mountains, world leaders gathered to discuss humanity's next steps. The predecessor I had shared more than just defensive technology. It had provided a map of the galaxy, showing countless civilizations at various stages of development. We stand at a crossroads, Dr. Chen addressed the assembly. The predecessors didn't choose us to become conquerors like the Mariax, or isolationists like the Xaran. They chose us because we represent something new, the ability to take knowledge and transform it into understanding. General Martinez added, "Our victory wasn't just about superior technology. It was about how we used it, how we adapted it, how we made it our own." The predecessor I's holographic interface shimmered as it presented new data. My creators suspected that somewhere in the galaxy, a species would emerge that could do more than inherit their legacy, one that could build upon it. In less than a month, you've proven them right. The Quantum Shield Network, now expanded and evolved through human innovation, had become something the predecessors themselves might not have recognized. But more importantly, it had become a symbol of humanity's potential, not just to survive in a hostile galaxy, but to thrive and grow in ways no one had anticipated. So what comes next? A world leader asked the assembly. Dr. Chen smiled, pulling up displays showing hundreds of new innovations derived from their work with the predecessor technology. We keep doing what humans do best. We learn, we adapt, we improve. The galaxy thought they would find a primitive species playing with borrowed technology. Instead, they found teachers who could show them new ways to grow. The predecessor I's final assessment was logged into its quantum memory. Species assessment. Human. Final classification. Not inheritors, but innovators. Recommendation. Continue observation. High probability they will surpass creator species within 1 generation. Analysis. The galaxy is about to become very interesting indeed. As Earth's first embassy ships prepared to launch, carrying human innovations and innovations to share with other civilizations, the message was clear. Humanity had earned its place among the stars not by copying what came before, but by showing the galaxy what could come next. The ancient question the predecessors had posed, "Who is worthy to inherit our legacy?" had been answered, but humanity's response had been unexpected. We don't just inherit legacies, we build upon them. And in the vast quantum networks now protecting Earth, human creativity continued to spark new possibilities, proving that sometimes the best defenders of knowledge are those who refuse to simply preserve it, but instead choose to help it evolve.